straight away to the start of Week 9. It'll be a rematch of the NFC Championship game between the Packers and the 49ers. The 49ers will not have Jimmy G. He's done for 6 weeks. Nick Mullins will play at quarterback. George Kittle, the all-world tight end, would be out 8 weeks. But the big story is that the 49ers don't really have much on the line, despite Jimmy G's gigantic contract. With regards to guaranteed money, not much on the line. With what you've seen this year and his up and down performance, could this be the last year for Jimmy G in San Francisco, even though last year they were in the Super Bowl with him?
I think so. There are people out there that would argue that Jimmy G's not going anywhere, Shanahan loves him, blah, blah, blah. But I think when you have the opportunity to maybe get a guy like Matt Ryan, who has a very expensive contract with the Atlanta Falcons, but if you can give up something that makes that work, and Matt Ryan, for instance, is a guy who is willing to rework his deal from a salary cap standpoint to get to a team like the San Francisco 49ers, I think that you take a look at that. And there's also some young quarterbacks out there. If there's a move for Sam Darnold, people are screaming and hollering that, maybe Sam Darnold needs a change and Trevor Lawrence comes into New York. But I don't think Jimmy G is going to be the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers in 2021. I mean, they've gotten what they got out of him. They see what he is.
And can you ask me, what is that? When you say they see what he is?
Just a guy.
He's just an average quarterback?
He's a guy. Come on, man. You can plug it's 10 quarterbacks that start on teams in the National Football League right now. That's the same guy. That's the same guy. And those 10 quarterbacks that start on National Football League teams aren't taking their teams to the Super Bowls and winning them like the 49ers are trying to do. Now, let's not get it twisted. Jimmy G helped them get to the Super Bowl, but in that those 2 playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, they was asking, I think he threw a total of 17 balls.
Minnesota and Green Bay.
Minnesota's Green Bay, oh, no, man. Nuh-uh, bro. They see them throw 1 pick. They was like, no, we're going to run the ball. We're taking the ball out of your hands.
The Ryan Tannehill of the NFC.
And so when you look at that and you paying that type of money, that's not what Shanahan wants to do. He understands that you've got to throw the football at times in games to win them. They had a great defense last year. Their defense is still okay this year, although they've been banged up a lot. When you look at it, Nick Bosa isn't there. He's lost for the year. And so when you start to look at some of those things, Richard Sherman hasn't played much. When you start to look at that, you start to say to yourself, okay, we got enough, but our quarterback can't help us get over the top. He's not the guy that could handle the rest of the team and put it on his back. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if they moved on from him, not in the least bit.
Just makes it easier for them to move on from him, right? I mean, you think about if everybody were healthy, Key, and if you were winning games, it makes it a lot more challenging, even if your defense is playing well and you have all the pieces to say, hey, we're going to move on from him, even though there's a history. But now that you're losing games, it seems like your roster is depleted. Everybody's injured. You're losing games at a high clip. All right. Well, this makes it easier to transition.
They
correct?
flirted with him in the offseason prior to Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. They flirted with Brady. There was a
John Lynch said they made the call.
Yeah,
the GM said they made the call.
They flirted with it. Hey, man, what you think about this dude? Can we get him? Can we get in on him? And so that conversation comes up, tells you what they thought about the quarterback. And then they realize, we stuck with Jimmy G. So one of the first things they do is, we love Jimmy G. And they put their arms around you to make it all great, even though in the end, they don't value him nearly the same as they did when they traded for him.
And fellas, think about it. When they traded for him, how quickly things can change. They traded for him for a second-round pick. And at the time, people said, oh, my goodness, the 49ers fleeced the Pats because we potentially have a franchise guy that could be here for a decade or so, and all we gave up was a second round. That was the notion at the time.
But I never felt that way, though, because I watched Jacoby Brissett come in and do the same thing. So I watched Jacoby Brissett on a small little slice, sample size, do the same thing that Jimmy G did on a small slice, sample size.
Both in New England.
Both in New England. You watched them do the same thing. So for whatever reason, John Lynch felt and Shanahan felt at the time, which, look, they went to a Super Bowl. He certainly helped them get to a Super Bowl. There's no question about it. But to win the Super Bowl and to get over that hump, he's not the guy for them to be able to do that. He's just not.
Steve Young said something that really caught my attention the other day. He said it creates a focus on one question coming into this year that you had about the 49ers. Can we get to a place where Kyle Shanahan, this innovative offensive coordinator, one of the best head coaches in the league, can find a quarterback that he can trust and just be expansive with rather than protect? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.